911 location of your emergency.
Breaking news out of North Idaho. Moscow police are investigating a homicide on King Road.
Is she breathing?
No.
So 5'10", all black. Could you see what color his eyebrows were or anything like that?
No, I don't remember what his eyes look like either.
Officers discovered the bodies of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Maddie Mogen, and Kaylee Goncalves, but no weapon has been located at this time.
Arrested. That's 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger in custody today.
Kohberger allegedly stalked one of the victims. That's false.
We do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122, but we can put his phone in that area. There are many residences in that area. It's a dense population of mostly college-related occupants.
Everything is alleged. Hey guys, good morning. How's everyone doing? So it looks like Kohberger has been granted an attorney. So Whit sent me a screenshot of a man named Gregory Rauch, and it looks like, and I want to check for myself, it looks like on the portal it shows that this guy has been added. Oh my god, let me see. I mean, from what she sent me, I'll show you guys in a second once I have this portal up. From what she sent me, he doesn't have good he doesn't have good reviews. Oh, hold on, it has to confirm that I'm a human. That would suck if I couldn't pass the test. All right, let's see. Yeah, alrighty, let me show y'all what we're doing, what we're looking at. So, right here, you guys can see right here where it says Rauch, I guess, Rauch for petitioner as of this morning. Okay, public defender. So, let's see, what did she say this guy's name was? Like his full name. She said his full name was Gregory R. Rauch. Eekies. Okay. It's like they found it's like they found like the one with the worst. I don't know. Okay. At least what she sent me, he had like really like unprofessional ratings. So let's see here. This is most likely who this person is. Is there a document? That's what I was trying to find. If Sarah had found a document with the guy's name, like I'm sure it'll probably be out later this evening because I'm sure Sarah's probably already put in the request. So it does. Okay. So something that was happening over the weekend, which was super interesting. Okay. We mentioned it in one of our other lives. About how it showed that there was someone's request to view unsealed records denied. Well, Sarah pointed out here on her Twitter page that that's gone. That's now been completely removed from the record. Now there's this petitioner information. Okay, so I don't know what it was. Who tried to get unsealed documents. I was under the impression from several different people that it was a media source trying to get information on the case by filing something with the court. But now that it's been removed, I don't know. Could it have possibly been maybe the attorney trying to get information before the notice of assignment was filed and so he was being denied because of a technicality? I guess maybe we'll find out. Because I honestly just do not know at this point now that this is in here. I honestly have no idea. So let me see if they have anything just yet in way of a document. But I am pretty sure that it's most likely going to come later this afternoon, probably in the next few hours. And it'll probably be either Sarah or all four, or how do they put it? All in the spiral. That'll have it the fastest. All for the spiral. I don't know why it always gives me issues trying to find that damn profile. There it is. All rise for the spiral. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. One of them will probably have the document out first. But let's look at this guy. So it looks like he does bankruptcy, debtor's rights, creditor's rights, litigation, landlord-tenant issues, collection criminal, construction defect litigation, personal injury, real estate litigation, divorce. He does everything. But divorce, paternity, child custody, civil rights litigation. So he's just like some rando that is, you know, just does whatever he wants to do. Just does whatever he wants to do. Let's see. From 2006 to present, he's worked for Magyar, Rauch, and Thai. But you know what's funny about that? Look right here. Their actual website, my browser is telling me that this is an unsafe website. NordVPN is telling me that this guy's official law firm's website is not safe for me to go on. What? That's crazy. That is crazy. Unbelievable. Okay, let's see what else we can find real quick. No way. Okay, here, hold on. Let me see. Okay, let me see if I can find. I don't want to click on like bleh. I don't really click too much more on their stuff when it's telling me that like their shit's not safe. Here's another page. Is he licensed in California? Is this the same guy? No, this is a different guy. Nope, this guy has a different middle initial. Nope. Gregory R. Rauch, Public Defender, Idaho. Yeah, now both websites for him are telling me not to click on it because it's not safe. Look. Is it going to do it? Look, unsafe, insecure protocol. It won't let me. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. Because look at this. This guy's own website is not good. Look, here's a third warning right here. Don't click on it. There's issues with it. Holy shit moly. So he graduated the University of Idaho in 2002. I'm scared. Is it? I mean, isn't it the website I've already kind of like been on? Okay, maybe not. Okay, well, this one says it's okay. Oh, look, website's no longer available. So they also have just like their trash still sitting out here. Look, no longer available. Get rid of your trash out on the internet, you damn litterers. That's crazy. Yeah, right here. Okay, here we go. Gregory Richard Rauch. General practice, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, Chapter 13, all the things. Okay. It says, let me get this bigger. That's crazy. Unbelievable. Of course he's from the university. Of course he's from the university. Oh my God. I just want y'all to be able to see everything. Okay. Lawyer Gregory Richard Rauch graduated from University of Idaho, class of 2002. B.S. Thomas Jefferson Law School. No, School of Law, class of 2005. J.D. is now employed. Okay, yeah. I actually don't know what the hell that stands for at the back of the J.D. thing. Because that's not part of his name. That must be whatever it is for whenever you become a lawyer. Is now employed by Law Office of Magyar, Rauch, and Thai, PLLC, and it's in Moscow. His law office is in Moscow. I don't understand how that's the case. Are we sure this is him? Is there another Rauch attorney? Because he was supposed to be an Ada County public defender. Is this guy an Ada County public defender? I mean, unless they couldn't get anybody in Ada County, because that's what we were told it was going to be Ada County. That's crazy that they didn't stay in Ada County. Rouch, lawyer, Ada County. Let's see if it does anybody else. There's a Bradley Rouch that pops up, but he's in Houston. No, it doesn't look like there's anyone. I just wanted to make sure because his office is in Moscow, and they were very, kind of specific about it needing to be in an Ada County thing. But I guess, okay. Interesting. Let me keep looking. I'm only finding Gregory Rouch, Moscow, Idaho, and then Bradley Rouch in Houston. And I typed in Rouch lawyer, Ada County, just so that it would pop up anything. Rouch lawyer, Idaho. I just want to make sure because he's in Moscow. Nah, he's the only one in the whole state with that name that's an attorney, it looks like. Yeah, the only other one that keeps popping up for me is the Bradley guy in Houston. See right here. Rouch, lawyer, Idaho. It shows an office up here and then an office down here. So he's got one in Moscow and one in Lewiston. And again, see it telling it's unsafe. Don't go to this man's website. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, this is the Bradley one. This is in Houston. Yeah, this guy's in Houston. So yeah, I guess it is him. Let me get rid of some of this junk up here. Hold on. And then we'll finish reading this. Okay, Gregory Richard Rouch is one of the more than 1 million lawyers in the United States. Before choosing Gregory Richard Rouch as your lawyer, you should consider whether Gregory Richard Rouch offers free consultation, blah, 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 blah. I actually don't want to read all of that because I don't really care about any of that stuff. Okay, Gregory Richard Rouch has been admitted in 2007, Idaho. His or her practice areas include general practice, law school education. Yeah, basically everything we saw. Okay. Interesting. Let me go back to where it showed the reviews because that's what Witten had sent me. Or I guess I could just open her email in the way that it doesn't show her stuff and then open it and show you. So right here, posted by Anonymous, October 11th, 2025. Do not use this guy for anything. This guy should be jailed. Lies, cheats, steals people's lives, will have his clients perjure themselves to win a case. January 13th, 2016. Unprofessional conduct at best. I had a lengthy consultation with Mr. Rouch about my case, during which he informed me I had a meritorious case and that he would help. He gave me a laundry list of things to do as well as a list of documents to forward to him so he could get started. I had a friend with me during the meeting to verify that what I was saying, who could attest to this. I did all these things and he has yet to respond 3 months later. I have called over 8 times, left messages with his paralegal, written emails, etc., and gotten 0 response. I even asked for a referral if he had decided to not help with my case, and I have gotten nothing, not even my documentation back, a phone call, form letter, etc. When someone needs legal help with a time-sensitive issue, this is very unprofessional. It takes 2 minutes to make a phone call or send an email when I have wasted time waiting on help that is promised and apparently not forthcoming. I would strongly suggest looking elsewhere, especially if you contact Mr. Rouch and he does not get back to you in a timely fashion. I went to him because I heard he was a good attorney. Unfortunately, I was unable to find out one way or another because he chose to ignore me after promising to help with my legal issue. Well, these are only like 2 reviews, and one of them is, a decade old. So I guess we'll just have to see, what this guy does and how he behaves and all the other things. I guess we'll find out. I guess we will find out. But at least now we know that he has somebody assigned to him. So I guess now we see how long it takes for the, I guess, like professional motion to be filed, because that's what's supposed to happen next. What's supposed to happen next is they're supposed to file like an attorney petition now, a more legal petition from the lawyer's point of view, the way the lawyer writes it. And I'm assuming that one's most likely going to have more detailed information. But I'm guessing he's going to have to meet with Bryan first before he can write anything, because he can't just go off, based off of just what was submitted. Like, they're going to have to sit down and have a conversation. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships, Kawanda. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the $4.99, Brianna. Oh, I appreciate it. I feel like these colors like drown me out, actually, but that's why I also put this back here. I feel like my chair drowns me out. I really wanted the black one with the glitter. This is that Drowery. I don't know the name of it. What's it called? I got it off Amazon, but it's the famous crisscross TikTok chair. And I got it on Amazon because it was like cheaper. It was cheaper on Amazon. And it wasn't very hard to put together. I paid Slade like $10 to put it together for me the other night. But it was heavy. Oh my God. I just don't want to not say the right brand. But I do wish I'd have gotten the black one, even though the glitter apparently comes off and gets on the floor. But then again, like, I really don't want the cats to have glitter all over them. So the one on TikTok, I don't know the brand of it. It's like a D or something like that. Dowinks, I guess. This one is like a different brand of it, and it's called the Hoff-Free Crisscross Chair. It's the same like concept, like the sides go out and like lay flat, and I've gotten the cats to like come up here and sit with me on the chair. Yeah, it's basically like a different version of the TikTok chair, and it's cheaper on Amazon. I know. I think some people in the chat the other day were asking about the chair because it was new, but I feel like I should have gotten the black one because I feel like I sit here and I look bright. Like, I was looking at myself on the live the other night with the verdict room, and I'm like, damn, I look like a vampire. I'm just sitting there like, eh. But whatever, that's not too bad of a thing, I guess. I appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome, Outlaw of Love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the 5 Kawanda. Is Idaho a real state or a third world country? The state is a hot mess. Oh, Lord, fix it. Yeah, no joke. I mean, but there's, and it's not even, my God, yes, exactly. It's the whole freaking state. That's what I keep trying to get people to understand is, like, it's not just this little, how did Steve call it? Podunk. That's what I've called it before. Police department with Moscow police. Okay. Especially considering that ISP and the FBI stepped in on like day one. Let's be serious. Okay. But we've had issues with the Idaho State Police and their forensic department, which are 2 different departments. Then we've had issues with Moscow itself and like different levels of inside Moscow, because we've got issues with the city and we have issues with the police department with the crap they're doing. They're not following their laws. They're not following their guidelines. Then we have issues with the courts. They are taking forever to unseal things. When they do unseal things, they're not doing the redactions correctly. Every department in Idaho has screwed up somewhere. It's just like, damn. Throw the whole state away. Throw the whole state away. It's so bad. Thank you for the 1999 Milky Moo. I know it's impossible, but Jules, you'd be perfect to defend Bryan. Oh, well, it sounded good. Oh, thanks for always speaking the truth in your hard work. I could never be a lawyer. I would be held in contempt every time I hit a courtroom. Not even a joke. Thank you for being a member for so long, Emily. Thank you for being here. Seriously. Nope. They would have to throw me in jail every single time. It wouldn't even be a joke. I can't hold my mouth. You already see it. You'll already see it. Thank you for the jewels too, you guys. I appreciate that. Okay. Now what we're going to be doing here is listening to Jack's interviews. These came out over on Accomplished Days channel a few days ago. I like to give it a few days so that it gets it gets the most attention. Videos get their most attention within the first 24 hours is your most you're ever going to get ever. Pretty much ever. And then 48 to 72 is pretty much around the same. And so I like to just let it do, and then we come over here so that it gets its organic traffic. That's why it's been a few days. That's why sometimes people come in the channel like, I thought we heard this already. You probably did. I wait a few days. I don't typically jump on it. I let the original creator have their time. So there's some really interesting information in this. And I have the title the way that I do, where it says Jack speaks to the FBI, because the ex-FBI agent, now ex-FBI agent, Ed Jacobson, who has been in all of these damn documentaries lately that we know worked the case, was at the scene, helped do the canvas, was the one who talked to Chief Fry on that Monday and introduced himself and said, hey, here we are. He's also in here speaking to Jack. And it just so happens to be about the drug connections. Kaylee's freaking middle-aged violent cocaine dealer is what they're trying to find here. So it's interesting that this is the first conversation that we hear an FBI agent technically be a part of, and it's a drug conversation. Remember, parallel investigation. Okay. So let's go ahead and start listening to these. They're not very, very long. And then, if you haven't seen it already, since we did not get to do our members only live last Monday because of the post-conviction relief being filed, we are doing our members only live today. I have the link already up. It's for 3:45. We are also still doing Moscow Monday tonight. We are moving on to the next police report in the sequence. We diverted for Monday because it was a very important day, and now we are trying to get back on track. And if it's ever been important to go back to the very beginning, it's now. So I definitely don't want to stop that now that it's a whole next level of, okay, now we really do need to look into everything, because obviously there's some shit here somewhere that's going to eventually piece together. If we're going to find it, I highly doubt, because they redact every damn thing that they give to us. But at least we know that there's something else out there, and we've been on the right track of thinking that something's wrong. And the more that they do release, as redacted as they put it out there, it still is just even more apparent. This conversation, for real. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody know, because I haven't looked yet, just off the top of your heads, or if somebody can go check, did the Amazon next series of the Idaho case come out already? Because I know we've been discussing Netflix right now, and we've done a lot with that, and we're not done with it because there's still a lot of stuff in there that people that are just now watching the documentary are seeing and questioning. And so I'm going to try to put out a couple different videos just addressing those very specific topics, the way that I did with Dylan. Because right now, the very big topic out of everything is, why the hell the 8-hour delay? Well, yes, hello. Exactly. That's what got us all here. And even with us being there, and then when they arrested Bryan, the majority of us were like, okay, hell yeah, they got the guy. But then the information started coming out, and we were like, okay, we can't go back to our old questions, because none of this is working. None of this is pointing to this dude. This isn't making any sense. Everything that they come out and tell us, when the documents come out, it's the exact opposite of what they've come out here saying. People are finally starting to ask questions. It's a whole new wave of people. So if the Amazon one is out, I really need to know. And I just now thought of it. So if you guys know, let me know. If not, I'll check later. I've seen some comments about Amazon Prime's newest one, and I'm like, it could also be the Sundance one, because some people might be watching it on Amazon, not realizing that it's not Amazon Prime. You know, it's actually through Sundance, and you have to pay you have to get like a free trial at least to be able to actually watch it on Amazon. So there's that. I don't know. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this pulled up real quick. And I did what I normally do. I ended up doing a screen recording of it and then trying to make it a bit louder, just so that we could hear it a bit better. Okay. Let me go ahead and share the screen. And now again, it's just this. There's no video as usual. Most of these conversations are on the freaking phone, which is just so wild to me, honestly. Why is this acting crazy? Okay, here we go.
Okay, it's November 21st, 2022. It is 2:06 p.m. This is Detective Sergeant Mike Van Leuven with Idaho State Police. With me is FBI Special Agent Ed Jacobson, and we're going to call telephonically.
See? Ed Jacobson, FBI Agent Ed Jacobson.
But first, we're going to call his, and we're going to have a conference call with.
So I think right there, we're going to call his lawyer, and then we're going to have a conference call with Jack. Because remember, on the 11:15 interview that we got, at the very end of that interview, the only reason why it stops is because he goes out and talks to his mom, and then they decide, oh, he needs an attorney before he continues to speak to you guys. So then that conversation continues on the 17th, where we heard all the rest of the crazy stuff about the 17-minute phone call and him asking if there was audio and all that stuff. So now this is after, obviously, on 11/21, they're going to have a little bit of a conversation here, and then they're going to have another conversation on the 22nd that all basically has to do with the exact same subject. We don't usually put both of them together, but there was no reason to separate these at this point.
Hey, it's Mike Van Leuven. I've got FBI Ed Jacobson in with me here too.
Okay.
Welcome,
I tried calling Jim.
Yep.
I couldn't get him on the line. I can. Well, now I got. Call me. Can I try to call Jim again or his parents and call you right back? See if I can conference somehow.
Yeah. Do you want me?
I'm quite sure how to do.
You want me to try to add him?
Sure.
Okay. Hey, stand by.
Now they're going to go on a goose hunt for Jack, because he's not answering the phone.
So we're trying to add Jack into this as a conference call.
Yeah, so it's Jack's attorney, ISP dude, and the FBI guy trying to get a hold of Jack.
Your call has been forwarded
Jack's
to an
not answering the
automated
phone.
voice messaging system.
Hey, Jack.
Hello?
Yeah, I tried his cell phone. It just rings. You want to try the parents' phone?
Sure. Probably the best one to get a hold of.
Okay, stand by.
So they're going to call his mama.
So we're calling. All right.
Hello? Yes.
Hi, this is Mike Van Leuven with the state police. I'm gonna conference in. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I've got I'm on this call as well.
Okay. Sorry I didn't get a chance to reach out more, but we did try to call Jim.
Okay, he's here with me. We're taking a walk.
Okay.
With the dog.
And he's right there and didn't bother answering the phone.
I think there's just a couple questions they want to ask.
Okay, sure.
He knows who's calling him. He's choosing not to answer the phone. Like, come on, broski.
Hello. Hey, this is calling ISP and I believe the FBI agent Jacobson are on the line. They wanted to ask you just a couple questions. More in relation to some contacts with Kaylee. Okay. Not you, but I think anyone that she may have known. Go ahead. Detective Van Leuven.
Hi, Jim.
Hello.
So I've got Special Agent Ed Jacobson here with me. He's got a follow-up question about a cocaine dealer that Kaylee may have had contact with.
FBI agent has the follow-up question.
So,
Okay.
can you tell us, is
That does not sound familiar to me.
well, so we're getting some information that she uses coke quite regularly. Would you confirm that?
Kayla, you're speaking about?
Yes.
Never while we were together, but she did tell me that she had done it once since we had broken up, but I did not think it was a regular thing.
So we do have text messages between you where she's talking about using that.
Yeah, she told me that she did it.
Do you have any idea where she sourced it from?
I honestly don't know.
And the name doesn't ring a bell.
No, it does not.
You familiar with any males that she possibly had contact with?
I think he is a little bit. His name is.
Okay.
Actually, his first name. All I know him by is. I'm not sure of his first name. That's the only one I could think of that would know Kaylee.
Okay.
So I know we've had some experience in cases like where a loved one has been murdered and people are very hesitant to say anything negative about them because they just don't want.
It was Lipso. I just that's what I was just texting. I just texted Slade and told him to come get her, put her in his room.
I know we've had some experience in cases like where a loved one has been murdered and people are very hesitant to say anything negative about them because they just don't want to, cast them in a negative light. And that's completely understandable. And I would feel the same way. But in this case, when we're trying to figure out who might have had something against her, we really need any nitty gritty that you have about, something that she may have been involved with where a bad person could have been involved in that. So if there's anything more about the cocaine dealer or another drug dealer, anything like that she may have had contact with, we really need that information.
Okay. We'll for sure let you know. I remember Kaylee telling me after we had broken up that she had started drinking pretty regularly, and she did mention doing cocaine once, but I did not think that was a normal thing.
Who did she do cocaine with?
I remember it was like at a house party, but I have no idea whose or who it was with.
Is there a way for you to figure that out?
I could probably narrow it down to 2 or 3 houses that she could have been at.
The text message between you guys where she talks about the coke and you saying that you didn't want to do that, is that the same day that the coke use happened?
I think it was the day after.
The text was the day after. The text was the day after?
Yeah, I believe so.
So there's another text message on there where she basically states we're in college now and all that. You will be doing that. You yourself will also be doing coke in 3 months. You remember that?
She states that I will be doing it?
That you also will be doing it in 3 months. It was a while back. It was probably
doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
It was probably 2 years. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
If you wanted to source cocaine, how would you do that? Do you know anybody that sells cocaine, or do you know someone that uses it that you could talk to? And again, we don't give a rip. We don't give a rip about the cocaine use here.
I couldn't care less.
No, I understand that. I do understand that. The only name that I could think of would be I know he does it regularly. I don't know.
What house is he? Okay. You want to talk about the car at all? Ask him about the car?
You know anybody that drives a small white two-door car, like a Nissan maybe?
With a loud exhaust.
I remember it's not an Audi.
You could ask about an Audi over the weekend.
I know, but this.
That's why he asked. Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt.
No, we're now thinking it's not an Audi, maybe a Nissan.
I remember a kid last year who I knew drove a white Audi that with a loud exhaust, but I don't know of anyone driving a small white two-door with loud exhaust.
It may not be a loud exhaust. Just would you know anybody who drives like a white two-door, like a small Nissan, like a what are they, Sentras and the other?
Like an Altima.
Altima, Sentra, the one I was thinking. You know anybody who drives something like that?
I don't think so. Is it? I'm trying to just
white or light color.
Stereotype someone. Is it like an older or a newer one?
I'll tell you what, on nighttime camera, it's hard to tell.
So imagine it's probably about a 2 or 3 year old car.
Okay. No, I really can't think of anyone.
Okay.
Anything else? If you think of anything more, what was the name that we're trying to find? A guy named guy's nickname that we think is the cocaine dealer.
CH.
If you can think anything more about that, that would be very helpful.
I will definitely put some more thought into it.
Okay. Anything else? No. Anything else?
Not that I can think of, Jack. I'll just tell you if you think of anything or if you hear of anything, let me know and I'll reach out.
Yep.
Okay. That's what to do it.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Is there anything you need further from him?
Not right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. No problem.
Thanks. Thanks. Goodbye.
Thank
Thanks. Bye.
That does not line up with those text messages.
That does not line up with his text messages.
Oh, he'd have no reason to protect a drug dealer that might have killed her.
I know, but it doesn't. Well, I'm not saying that. But I mean, those text messages seems like she's using and she's basically justifying, hey, you're going to be doing this too in 3 months.
But is that a serious statement or is she just playing with him?
I can't believe it.
It sounds like he's coming down on her.
I cannot believe they left that in there. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that freaking wild? Okay. Before we move on to the next part. Accomplished Day, when she posted this interview, well, they posted this interview because, again, I don't know. I'm just guessing from the pink in the crown. Okay, I don't know. But when they posted this, they also posted the supplemental record where there was some sort of like investigation going on when it comes to this information coming from Kaylee's side of things. So I'm going to read this report real quick. This is report number 35 written by Justin Dean. This is in the MPD narrative. So if you're pulling it from the Google Drive or if you're pulling it from anywhere at all that has all of them together in one file and they're not separate like they are on the on the main website. Then it's page 100. And this is on November 21st, 2022. At approximately 11:57 hours, I was asked by Captain Tyson Barrett to follow up on a possible lead in the 1122 King Road homicide case. I was told a Mexican drug dealer with the moniker something, because that's the sound that we heard, was possibly selling drugs to several fraternities and sororities on the University of Idaho campus. I told Captain Barrett I would contact several of my contacts to see if anyone knew of. That's just how I'm going to have to put it, because I don't know for sure who it is, but that's the sound that they're making when they're saying this person's name. At approximately 12:04 hours, I began contacting my fellow Quad Cities Drug Task Force detectives, Brett Damon, Colby Martin, and Bryson Ace. None of these detectives had heard of selling cocaine in the Quad Cities. At approximately 12:11 hours, I reached out to Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives Special Agents TJ Wahira out of Spokane, Washington. Office reference S.A. Wahira hadn't heard of but said he would reach out to other agencies in the area about him. I also spoke to, I don't know who this person is, at approximately 13:30 hours, and another person at 17:25 hours. Now, the first person is a CH, and the second person is a JP. I don't know who those people are. I have no clue. No idea. No idea. H and P said they never heard of selling cocaine in the area. P said he would contact me if he heard anything. I also spoke with Brandon DeMeyer with Benton County Sheriff's Office in Washington at approximately 16:25 hours. Deputy DeMeyer hadn't heard of but said he would contact his local detectives about the name and let me know if he found out anything. This report sort of makes it sound as if the name that was being given was fake. Maybe. Or the guy is so low level, he hasn't been heard of yet by any of these departments. I guess it could technically go both ways. But let's see. I don't know how many letters would fit into this. Let's see. HARLIE. See, I've always thought that maybe what we were hearing on Linda Lane was Charlie instead of the Farley name that a lot of people think that they hear. There was also, and I don't remember exactly who the person was, but there was also some connections to a guy that had a name Charlie that was connected to Maddie at some point that people had found. I don't know I don't know what his connections were in way of like what he did. I don't know what he did it for college. I don't know what the connection was, but there was a connection, some sort of friend. Guy's name's Charlie, but regardless of if he had a connection to Maddie or not, there are people in that area with that name that live in that area. So that could have been the name that people heard on the Linda Lane camera too, because it sounds so similar and it's really difficult to really know what you're hearing. But that was something from like a few months ago that I had mentioned when we were going back and listening to things, and there was people putting connections together that there was like a Charles that goes by a Charlie type thing. And I was like, oh, that could have been what we heard at Linda Lane. I don't know. That's just something that's come to my mind while we've, heard that before. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and listen to the next one. This is where they're calling him back and they're going to read him a list of names and have him just basically answer yes or no to a list of girls on a list of sorority.
Okay, it's November 22nd, 2022. It is 10:30 a.m. This is Detective Sergeant Mike Van Leuven with the Idaho State Police. With me is FBI Special Agent. We are about to call.
Calling Jack back. Oh, actually, before that, I wanted to show this part for those of you who missed this. So while they're talking about Kaylee and usage, okay, we have to also remember what we heard in Yessie's interview, where she's talking about how when they go to King Road, it's just basically known that the people going into Xana's room are doing that too. So we'll take a listen to this real quick.
Drugs. Who do you know?
And remember, this is the one that has like a really crazy, like in the background noise, but this was said in this interview that we went over a few days ago.
Know anybody or that use drugs just for partying, whether it be party drugs or marijuana or anything else like that?
Yeah, I do actually. There would be a few times where would mention that, like, and because everyone would kind of go to Xana's room, and she'd always just mention, like, yeah, they're, like, doing cocaine, and it was like, always just like, oh, okay. Like,
okay.
I don't know if specifically, like, she would use it, or Ethan would use it, or anyone, but I know, like, they would go to her room, and she was always in there, and Ethan would be in there. But there'd be, like, a few of them, and I know that, girlfriend, she does cocaine as well, so.
Okay. And so...
See, so it's not just being mentioned just for Kaylee. It's being mentioned for Xana, too. So if this, like, middle-aged, violent dealer that might have a connection to more than one of the girls is known for being a violent person, and there was a situation going on that maybe we're not being told about, that's pretty important. Because that's now 2. So thank you for the 2, Miss Lindy J. Emily Allant has a brother named Charlie. I wonder if he was there that weekend. Is he older or younger? Do you know? Well, I'm sure you know. You know a lot of these connections way better than I do. I know that for a fact. So is he older or younger? And do we know if he was maybe there that weekend to hang out because Hunter was going somewhere? Like, because that was Hunter's last night there before he went off to be at another school. He's older. I wonder if he was hanging out with them that weekend, though. Interesting. But that's also like a really common name. Like Charlie is pretty common, and there's more than just one. Obviously, these names are like by the duplicate everywhere. That's been an issue trying to keep things. How many Kayleys do we have? We have our Kaylee, our main Kaylee, and then there's like 2 or 3 other Kayleys, and they all spell it different. It's been difficult to keep up with, that's for sure.
Hi, Jack, it's Mike. Give me 1 second.
Give you 1 second for what?
How do I make this go back to the phone screen? Any ideas? Take a look. This one here?
What the frick are they doing?
There we go. Perfect. Hi, it's Mike Van Leuven. I just talked to Jim, went over a couple things. He said it was okay to ask you. With me today, I've got you on speakerphone here.
Okay. I guess it's just normal for these people to not give a shit about each other. Okay. So someone just said that the Goncalves is posted and, they can block me all they want to, which, mind you, I told them to. And they finally did. I don't know about you, but I have hurt myself, broken things, almost fallen on my face, all kinds of things. When commotion gets started in a direction that one of my children, or at the time my partner, was in, because the instant fear was, holy fuck, something just happened, and it's one of them. Anyone who is a normal human being and has ever had a partner that they actually cared about or has had children, you know that feeling. But here we have another situation here where something serious could have been going on, and Christy has no reaction. And I wasn't even going to say anything. I was just going over here to see what people were talking about Steve having a medical issue on the airplane. And then I read Christy's reaction, and I am stunned, but not at the same time. Okay, I want y'all to just listen to this, okay? Oh my. Steve had some low blood pressure episode on the plane, and he almost passed out. he jumped up and said, "I don't feel good," and hightailed it to the bathroom. Next thing I know, they're calling for any doctors, nurses, emergency personnel to report to the back of the plane. I was like, what the heck? I just sat there waiting until he finally came back and told me what happened. So your husband, who you've been married to for 30 years, gets up in a panic, tells you that he doesn't feel good, and he runs to the back of the airplane. And then all of a sudden, there's an emergency call over the freaking speaker for doctors and nurses and emergency personnel to now head to the back of the plane where your fucking husband is. And you just sit there and wait for him to come and tell you what happened? These people cannot be fucking human. I'm going to be the fucking bitch. I'm going to be the fucking bad guy because I'm telling you, what the hell is wrong with this person? I'm sorry? You just sat there? The second I saw people heading in the same direction after my husband would have just stood up and said how much he didn't feel good and ran the hell off, I would have been jumping over the fucking nurses. What are you talking about? Oh my God. She's consistent. That's true. Oh my God. These people never cease to amaze me with their lack of humanity. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Woosah. Holy shit. This family's wacko. Yep. What the frick? I just sat there as my husband is being resuscitated because he passed out. I mean, this is like, in my mind, I would have been thinking the worst. And what would you just sat there the whole time? What if he would have died? What if he would have just gone back there and fell the hell out and had a whole fucking heart attack? Because lots of people stand up and say they don't feel good and think they have to throw up, and then all of a sudden they're having a stroke on the floor and they're dead in 5 minutes. He just sat there. You just sat there. Yeah, the commenter had the comment of the year. She's consistent. Oh my God. Okay. Let's continue. My God.
This one here?
Unbelievable.
There we go. Perfect. Hi, it's Mike Van Leuven. I just talked to Jim. Went over a couple things. He said it was okay to ask you. With me today.
Oh, thank you for the 20, Colin. Arsenio Sosa Solora, also known by the nickname Cha, was involved in a significant criminal incident in Ohio. Ooh. Okay. Eek. Let me write that name down. Thank you for that.
Got you on speakerphone here is with FBI. He's a special agent. We just had a few things to go over.
Is this Nick Balance he's talking to? I don't know all of the FBI agents that were working, but if this was Ed Jacobson, they would have not redacted his name, I'm hoping, since they didn't in the last one. But this one sounds like the FBI agent in the room's name starts with an N.
With me today, I've got you on speakerphone here, is with FBI. He's a special agent. We just had a few things to go over. You have time?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so first things first, we are trying to ID this cocaine dealer that may have sold cocaine or provided cocaine to Kaylee. And I thought maybe if we went through the sorority membership list, you might be able to tell us the girls that you think would be in the best position to know who she got the cocaine from.
Okay. No.
So the gist, just because of the the ridiculous little detour that we just took there, a much needed one, but a ridiculous one at that. What's happening here is because they don't know, apparently from the report that we read in between these two interviews, who the hell this person is that they're getting this name about. None of the departments that are looking into any of the drug situations in that area have ever heard of this person before. And the affiliation this person apparently has is the Mexican drug cartel. Okay. Now they are calling Jack the next day and they are reading him off a list of the girls in Kaylee's sorority so that he can determine, which I don't know why they're asking him. They've been separated for 3 months and she started living a completely different life, it sounds like, after they broke up. According to how he says it anyway, you know, suddenly she's drinking more, blah, 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 blah. It sounds like she wanted to go out and have fun with her friends and you weren't like letting her. So she got rid of you. That's what it sounds like. The way that he acts and how he was never invited to any of the parties. Remember, he told us that himself in the interviews from, it was either the 15th or the 17th. It was one of the two. That he was never invited to any of the parties, so he couldn't answer half the questions that he was being asked. They didn't like him. He's a party pooper. Shouldn't want him around. You could tell. We now know the dynamic here. So I don't know why they're asking him, because he technically wouldn't know shit about anything if this was all shit that happened after they broke up. They would be better off asking the people actually in the sorority instead of wasting time asking Jack a bunch of stupid ass questions. But that's what's happening. They're telling him a bunch of girls' names, and he's to say yes or no on if he thinks that girl would know the connection to the cocaine. That's the gist of this conversation.
No. Probably not.
I think he was asleep.
I'm not sure who she is. It's likely that she might use it.
Put a little check there. We'll call.
No, actually,
likely she might use it.
Yeah, I think she graduated last year. A lot of these girls I really don't even know because I'm
That's okay.
a lot younger. But
I understand. That's okay. We'll just go through the list and see what we see.
Also, they weren't together, so ask somebody else.
Possibly.
But honestly, if you think about it, I mean, as much shit as I'm talking, the Goncalveses were not doing any victimology interviews. So they weren't sitting down and being asked any of the questions like what we've been hearing in all of these interviews. Who do they hang out with? What was their favorite restaurants to go to? What was their friends like? How was their relationship with this person? How was their relationship with that? They weren't answering any of those questions. And it was before Bryan's arrest. It was before any court stuff. The Goncalveses, Kaylee's family was just straight up not wanting to be interviewed deeply. So while I still say he was the ex and probably wouldn't know any of these questions, her family wouldn't either. But it also doesn't help that they weren't even trying to be a resource. All they did the entire time was fight against the law enforcement officers, fight against the investigation. That's literally all they did from the jump, was fight against the investigation. It's very odd behavior.
Possibly. No. I'm not sure who she is, I don't think. I couldn't imagine her, but her friend group.
So whoever the girl was, he said he couldn't imagine her being the one to use, but that all of the girl's friends would probably be users. Is that what he just said? That's kind of crazy.
I couldn't imagine her, but her friend group.
That's weird. Okay. That's pretty strange. Hello, Zelda.
Same deal with
Okay, love you, bye.
on before.
Now that last meow that y'all just heard was Zelda, because she wanted in here, so now she's in here, licking her butt on the stool.
I'm going to put check marks by him to call him anyway. So you mentioned in a prior interview that his boyfriend was girlfriend, and we have heard that times supplied cocaine. Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that.
Who are you talking about, sir?
On before.
I'm going to put check marks by him to call him anyway. So you mentioned in a prior interview that his boyfriend was girlfriend, and we have heard that
times supplied cocaine. Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that.
You would assume that he supplied cocaine, or you knew that he did?
I didn't know that he'd supply it all, but I didn't know that he did it.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
Do you have any idea where he got cocaine from?
No. I know just there's a group of those who will, I think, use it somewhat regularly. I don't know where they get it.
How does he know all of this about these people, though?
Okay. Do you have any idea where he got cocaine from?
No. I know just there's a group of those who will, I think, use it somewhat regularly. I don't know where they get it.
Any names of the other besides him that we should follow up with?
I think I gave you that name yesterday. That's really the only one I can think of.
Okay, let's keep going on the list here of the.
Slay just snatched her up.
Probably not now. No. I know she's been friends with a lot of those. She's the one dating. So I don't think she's really hanging out with that group much anymore, but I know she was kind of part of that crowd at one point.
I think it's pronounced.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Possibly. I know she hangs out with him. The same as, she probably does hang out with him.
I don't know who this one is in this one, but it's a guy that sounds like his name starts with an N. Probably Nick Balance, because I guess he was maybe helping with more than just the cell phone stuff. But yeah, there's an FBI agent in on this call, and Ed Jacobson, the FBI agent that worked the case, was also in the first call. So yeah, I guess they do.
No.
Or
I don't know who she is. Yeah, I know she hangs out with mainly.
Okay.
No. No, but she is roommates with, and
okay.
she is. She's dating who graduated as well and is roommates with, and Laura. So possibly.
Okay.
I hear females voices in the back. It must be his parents, his mom.
Yeah, I know she hangs out with him quite a bit. No. Possibly. She dated it last year. it is. I'm not sure who that is. I know who she is, and no, she's not like that. I'm not sure who that is. No, I don't know who that is. No.
So we're kind of, I've got about another 40 names here, but they're probably lower class girls, like freshmen, sophomores. So you might not know them. So we can go fast if you want.
I wonder how long this redaction is. I didn't check it. So 30 seconds and nothing.
Is
okay.
Kaylee's pin.
So here.
That's the list of a. The other thing we were going to ask about is if you possibly knew Kaylee's PIN number to her debit card.
I do actually.
What is it?
It is.
Excellent. There's some discussion that may be her PIN to her phone as well.
Because they can't get into the phone because the two PIN numbers that was given to the cops.
Okay, that's great.
By the family, the two PIN codes that were given to the police by the family didn't work. So now they're trying to find out what other PIN code could it possibly be because they can't get into Kaylee's phone. And to this day, as I am speaking to you live in real time right now, they have still not been able to get into Kaylee's phone. They have not been able to unlock Kaylee's device. See, there's also a huge discrepancy right now just in this community in general because of what Olivia said in the Cyray interview that we went over twice, that they were able to get into Kaylee's phone. No, they were not. And we honestly didn't even really know that they hadn't gotten into Kaylee's phone at this point after the plea until the Goncalveses went on CrimeCon's panel in Las Vegas a few months ago and said that they still had not been able to get into their phone, to get into Kaylee's phone, and that they wanted law enforcement to stop trying to get into Kaylee's phone because once it was unlocked, everything in it was going to be able to be received via FOIA and people were going to know everything, and that's a lie. How do I know? Ask me. Because I already tried all of that, okay? I went in and FOIA'd very specifically Kaylee's phone information with Jack's phone information because we were trying to figure out if that 17-minute call was legit or not before we had the interviews, the phone records, and knew that it was real. We were trying to figure it out ourselves. It was denied for an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. And the Goncalveses knew that because when we out here FOIA something, the family then gets what we FOIA'd as well. When we get an email from Moscow Police Department releasing information, the families also get an email. It goes to the advocacy department, and then it gets sent over to the families, all of them. Meaning the Goncalveses knew months and months and months and months and months ago before they got on that stage at CrimeCon and lied that someone had already tried to get Kaylee's phone information. Hi, hello, it was me, and it was denied. Because there's already rules in place to stop that from happening. So instead of just saying, yeah, they can't get into her phone, we tried to give them a PIN code we thought it was and it didn't work, and they've been having issues getting into it, and they still haven't been able to get into it, and we don't know what's going on with it, and leaving it there, they lie. They openly lie. And again, they were aware. The families are told every time someone FOIAs something that pertains to their part of this case. So when I FOIA'd that information, not only did Shannon Gray and whoever else the Goncalveses have and the Goncalveses themselves get notified that I sent in that request, but because it also had portions of Jack D's information in the request, his family and his family attorney were also notified. They were also notified when it was denied. So when I call them liars, I mean that with my chest because I know for a fact that they had this information given to them. I know for a fact they know that it will get denied for an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy and that they're out here full of shit. See, the main reason why they can't get into the phone is because they can't allow the phone to be having any access to the network, because somebody could have set up something to where as soon as that phone has service, it has some sort of reset and everything gets deleted. Yes, Kaylee's family was able to access her phone calls and her text messages, but that's because Kaylee was on the Goncalves' phone plan. Many of you guys are probably still on your parents' phone plan that are listening to this right now, and you know that you can have access to each other's phone calls and text messages. What you do not have access to is their voicemails, is their social media information, the stuff that they've done anywhere outside of their phone number. You don't have access to that stuff. So that's why Olivia said on her way over to Idaho, and as her husband was driving that night, she was able to log into her mom's account and see the phone numbers that Kaylee was communicating with in either text or call form. But no Snapchat, no Instagram, nothing like that. They don't have access to that stuff. But they were heavily trying to. And the Goncalves came out several times and acted like, oh, they were this huge family of trust, and they had these family passwords that everyone used for everything, so they were able to get access to all these things. No, he admitted in that interview that Olivia hacked into Kaylee's phone. And I know that doesn't have anything to do with the calls and the text messages. That has to do with them trying to get into her Apple account. And there's a two-factor authentication that is stopping them from being able to get into the account because it has to be done on the device. And the device is off because it's not allowed to get text messages. It cannot be put on the network. And the Goncalves are lying to the public about the real reason why they don't want that phone unlocked. And I just proved it to you. And those files are on the Google Drive, where I've placed all of my receipts and all of my FOIAs, including the denials. And when it comes to getting Jack and Kaylee's information, that is the precise denial that I was given. So no, they're not worried about information inside Kaylee's phone being FOIA'd and out there to the public. They're worried about something else. That's why they're lying about that. Just so we can clear that little situation up. Okay, let's continue.
That's fantastic that you know that. Thank you.
I know, thanks.
Has a couple other questions about the dog and some other drug use stuff with Kaylee.
Hey, man, I appreciate you talking to me today. I won't take too much of your time. There's some pretty basic questions.
Sounds like
okay?
Ed,
So just
though,
bear
so
with
maybe
me.
it
We'll get through
wasn't
it pretty
Ian.
quick, all right?
All right, sounds good.
All right, man. So the first thing is with the dog. It is Murphy, correct?
Yeah, because in the interview, he goes, hacked, because it was fake. It's stupid ass. Just like it's a fake database where some weirdo millionaire is going around having people swipe up people's random willy-nilly DNA and throwing it in a database. It gets sold to the police. Is that fake too? Keep talking, Steve.
Okay. What kind of dog is Murphy?
Man.
He's a mini golden doodle.
Okay. And how long have you had him?
We got him March 12th.
2021, 22?
That was 2022.
Okay. Now, mini golden doodle. I'm familiar with the breed, but not so much its habits. So we're gonna go into some questions more about the habits of Murphy. Okay, is he more of like a? Would you describe him as skittish or more aggressive towards people?
Honestly, neither. It doesn't matter who it
Sounded
is.
like
He's just
it.
gonna run up to them and be excited to see them.
Okay, and that's generally with anyone. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. How old was Murphy?
Well, actually, Erica, Kaylee got the dog before they broke up. Jack didn't want Murphy. He said in his interviews that we got from the police, again, I don't remember if it was the 15th or the 17th. I think it was the one on the 17th, because we got the 17th phone call first to verify the 17-minute phone call between Kaylee and Jack. It's the same one where he asks if there's audio of that phone call. I'm pretty sure it was in that one, because we got the 15th, the one on the 11/15, like almost 2 months later. I feel like a month later. But in the one on the 17th, he straight up tells the officers that he told Kaylee no, he didn't want to get the dog, that he wasn't going to be able to do anything financially with the dog, that he didn't want to deal with the dog, that he didn't want the dog. And Kaylee went off and got the dog anyway. So then he said the only reason why he ended up even dealing with Murphy at all is because at the Whites, she wasn't allowed to have a pet. There's a policy over there. Well, we know that 1122 and 1127, where Jack lived, are under the same team, Idaho. So they have the same pet rules. So even though he said no, he didn't want the dog, he was doing his girlfriend a favor, he said, by letting Murphy stay with him over at 1127 until she moved into the house. But no, he didn't even want Murphy. He straight up told the cops, he told her no, he didn't want the dog.
Approximately?
He's 11 months.
Okay. So at the house out there, he was let out fairly often, I imagine. So when he was outside, did he bark just to bark, or did he bark at you to be let in? I know it's kind of odd.
He's not much of a barker at all, but he was never really let out and just like left alone. Like they would let him out and hang out in the kitchen and like make sure they can kind of see him from the window and stuff.
Okay, so he wouldn't have run off or done anything like that?
I mean, he has before, but that's why they kind of try to watch him the whole time.
So in the reports, we found some of the people were talking about, and I think one of the past interviews that we listened to here recently also reiterated this, that right there towards like the end before the crime took place for a few weeks leading up to that a lot of people noticed that when they would let Murphy out and then the girls were trying to get Murphy to come back in, that he was taking longer to come back. And so some people thought, and I was like, yeah, I pretty much was asking this question in the very beginning, was somebody maybe in the area trying to groom Murphy into coming closer to them, to getting used to them, so that they maybe, wouldn't get a reaction from Murphy, but also maybe would take something from Murphy so that they could slip him something. Just because my first initial reaction to this case after realizing there was a dog in the house the whole time and like the 8 hours had gone by was that somebody give him like Benadryl to knock his ass out so that he didn't make any noises and didn't bark or anything like that. And there's a lot of questions when it comes to the barking that we are hearing, if it's Murphy or not, because we have no proof that it's Murphy. We also know there's several different dogs barking at the same time. Some you can tell by the sound that some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. There's multiple dogs barking. There's also multiple dogs that we have visually seen in that neighborhood right there that could have sounded like they were that close to the camera. We don't really know. We don't know. Plus, he had a collar of some sort. And I don't know if it was like, I'm going to assume it was just a vibration type collar that wouldn't actually shock him or anything like that. But he did have some sort of collar to like help in the barking. And I think it was just like a vibration type, which I don't really agree with any of that kind of stuff either. But at least it's the more humane, I guess, of the two. And it's not an actual like shocking collar from what I can tell. But he did have this collar on. We read about that in some reports too. And we've seen what it looks like on his neck. We know that he did. So maybe he didn't really bark all that much regardless because he had this thing on. But even he's saying he really didn't bark all that much. So when people were saying that a long time ago, well, those kind of dogs don't really bark like that. We're like, but listen to this dog. This dog sounds panicked. This dog sounds like he's desperately trying to get someone's attention. So could the dog come out of character? Could Murphy had come out of character and started barking aggressively like that? Hell yeah, he could have. You never really ever hear Zelda at all unless she's trying to get your attention, which that last meow is probably the loudest she's been in a while. But up until we started taking her like on trips in the car, she never meowed. It was like a good year. We never heard her meow. She never meowed for food, for attention. She never made a noise. We get her in the car and suddenly she's out of character and she's kind of nervous. So she's meowing and it's kind of loud, but she never does that in the house, literally ever. So could Murphy, this non-barking dog, have ignored the vibration in his collar because it's not hurting him and what's happening is more serious and he's reacting actually? Yeah. Could he have also been knocked out because he was given something and it was a whole nother dog barking? Yeah. We don't know. We have no freaking clue. But I do know that sometime in the 6 o'clock hour, it looks like a dog that very much resembles Murphy walking over by the dumpster closer to where Jack Jacour's car is the next morning. And if the back slider was actually left open, then the dog could easily have gone out and back in without anyone even knowing what's going on. But we don't really know that, do we? We don't know if maybe Murphy went all the way downstairs to try to get someone's attention and then somebody walked up there and opened the door. We don't know how that door was left. We don't know what was going on with that door in the 8-hour period. We have no clue. But I also find it interesting that Kaylee's balcony door was open. And it doesn't really seem like they've ever given any sort of thought to that being the entryway at all. They just sort of just completely brush it off as being the possibility for anyone coming into the house, which I find stupid, honestly. And then they want to discredit the prints outside the slider. Okay, well then what's your alternative theory? This person just transported themselves like a Willy Wonka episode just into the house and back? Like, how does any of that? Y'all haven't even really concreted down anything. All you know is that you got there and the backsliding door was open and you were fed a story from a shaken up little pretty blonde girl and y'all just ran with it. And you didn't give a single shit about the inconsistencies in her statements. And it's also crazy to me, even now, we've got huge guilters still out here lying to people about Dylan didn't hear anything. Like, there's this one idiot named Riley, and she's constantly coming out with her little microphone thingy like this, where she's all over the place. And she's like, a lot of people are questioning how Dylan didn't hear anything. Well, let me explain it to you why. And I'm like, what do you mean she didn't hear anything? The very first thing she says to Officer Nunes at the scene is that she heard screaming and crying and panic. Why are you telling your fellow guilter followers that Dylan didn't hear anything? You freaking liar. You liar. She says it herself. She heard screaming. Even if you don't want to believe her story, she's telling the police that she heard the screaming. So none of the guilters can say, oh, well, they didn't hear anything. They were asleep. No. Not at all. And people are still out there to this day, all these years later, doing that shit. But we're the bad guys. We're the bad guys for producing phone records that show proof from the court. We're the bad guys for representing the facts. They're getting the accolades for representing the lie. And that's some crazy shit. And that's some actual crazy shit. It's so annoying. It's the stupidest thing ever. Hey there, custody queen, chemistry queen. How you doing? How you doing? You're one of the very first members on this entire channel. Thank you so much for the $9.99. Thank you for popping up in here. I noticed that the earlier lives is where I've been able to see you, and I don't usually see you at all in the evening lives at all. So at least I know a better schedule. I haven't seen you in so long, and this is twice in a week. So good to see your name in here. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships, Trish. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. Let's finish listening to this crazy-ass freaking interview. Oh, my God. This whole case just gets on my nerves. As you can tell, I can go on and rant for, like, literally ever. And literally ever. And probably some more.
Okay.
Probably some more.
And you said he wasn't much of a barker. When did he bark consistently? If you had to pick a time where he would bark the most, when would that situation?
And then we find out in the Netflix documentary where Jack's cousin says Jack called his sister from the back of that cop car. And the Goncalves' very first story was that they were calling Jack too that morning. They were calling Kaylee, they were calling Maddie, and they were calling Jack, and no one was answering the phone. He had his phone in the back of that cop car the whole time and didn't answer the phone for the Goncalves and didn't call them. He's sitting there with their car that he is driving around. It's the Goncalves' ride that he is using. He is sitting in front of their daughter's house. They're frantically calling him, apparently, while they're calling Maddie, while they're calling Kaylee. He's not answering the phone for them, not speaking to them, not telling them anything about what's going on the entire time. But he calls his sister. I find that behavior interesting.
When he's like amped up, like when you try to get him, excited or going.
Okay.
That's really the only time he barks.
Okay, so he's never barked at, say, someone he didn't recognize or somebody you knew has never been to the house out there before?
I'm going to try.
Sometimes he'll let out like little...
I'll do it today, actually.
Like growls or like huffs, but he really
doesn't bark. Okay. Okay. So at night, was he crated when he slept?
No, he would sleep in bed with Kaylee or Maddie. I know he slept with sometimes too.
So him going into Maddie's room to sleep with Maddie on her bed was normal. Therefore, When the dog realized Kaylee wasn't in her bed at some point, obviously he's around. I mean, we don't know. He could have been completely knocked out when everything was happening. But we know that there's a Murphy paw print in that room. If it was taken on the 13th, it's a Murphy paw print, okay? They had a K9 show up on the 14th. I don't know if they brought the K9 into the house or not, so I can't say if that could be a problem. I've tried to get the K9 handler's report. Moscow PD told me it doesn't exist. That was a more recent FOIA denial. But we know from another police report, I believe it was Blaker's, that they brought in a cadaver dog or somewhere along those lines. We don't really know because I can't get the report from the handler themselves. And we know that the officers get shit wrong all the time. But we know that on the 14th, they did bring an animal in. They brought a K9 in. But we see a print next to Maddie's bed. So to know that it was normal for Murphy to know that if he didn't want to be in Kaylee's room, he could just walk over to Maddie's and get in bed with Maddie. And then we see the print there. More reason for me to be like, why the hell didn't y'all forensically examine that dog? Why didn't y'all hold the dog until ISP showed up and had them comb through him on your little, your little science paper that you collect all your stuff on? Why didn't you comb through the dog? Why didn't you check and see if he looked like he'd been washed? Why didn't y'all test him for anything? Why didn't y'all drug test the dog? So many things would have been done differently. Oh my God.
Okay. Okay, I think that's all the question I had as far as the dog habits go. And I know we got a little bit of some of the drug talk here. I'm going to just ask a few questions relative to that, man. And there's nothing like overly intrusive here. It's pretty basic stuff. But as you know, we're trying to exhaust our leads here, okay? So I'll make this quick. All right.
Hey, Danny.
All right, so
Hey, how you doing?
How many times would you say you've seen Kaylee use any sort of drug, and which kind? Just approximate. You don't have to give me an exact number.
Yeah, I mean, I have only known Kaylee to do cocaine one time years ago, and then she did tell me that she had used it since we broke up.
Okay.
I know that she's done Molly once. I think it was early last year.
So that's not after y'all broke up. Y'all only been broken up for 3 months. See, he's acting like her doing anything is only since they broke up, and suddenly she's like a different person and she's drinking and she's doing all this stuff. Whatever he just talked about happened before they broke up.
I know that she's done Molly once. I think it was early last year.
Okay.
And she used to smoke pot occasionally, but I don't think she does at all anymore, or did.
Okay. And when you said she used cocaine while you guys were broken up, did she say how frequently?
No, I think she just mentioned that she had done it once. I think she just told me that she did it last night. Like, it was the day after she was telling me that,
Okay. So you've never actually seen her do it in person?
Besides once, years ago.
Okay.
See? Besides once years ago. It doesn't matter what the truth is to this section of this. It's the simple fact that they're making it sound as if she wasn't doing any of these things when it's very obvious that she was doing some of these things, and it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. Okay. But the fact that they're not being honest right here is crazy to me, when right here, we are on the 22nd. The Othram just now got the DNA sample. They have no clue what the hell they're looking at right now. And they are not being completely honest about what's going on. At all. And mind you, again, at this point, the Goncalveses are not being interviewed. They're not doing victimology interviews. They're not giving the police information that could find their daughter's killer. They're not allowing their other kids to be interviewed. And mind you, Olivia is a grown-ass adult, and apparently she wasn't being interviewed either. And if she really gave two shits about Kaylee, she'd have told her dad to fuck off, and she'd have went down there and did the damn victimology interview to help find her sister's killer. Instead, the entire family didn't want nothing to do with anything and ended up lawyering up so they didn't have to. Tried to make it an excuse, tried to lie and try to make it look like they were trying to advocate for their daughter and stay where they weren't going to be witnesses. No, you weren't. You've never been advocating for Kaylee. Y'all have been fighting against this investigation from the second that it even started. And that is not an exaggeration. They have fought against the investigation every step of the way. Every step of the way. Disgusting behavior, in my opinion.
Okay. When you saw it in person, do you remember like how that? I know this was years ago. It may not be really applicable here, but just to ask for good for sake here. Do you remember how it was packaged or anything unique about how it was packaged?
Honestly, no. I think it was just someone asked if we want to step into the bathroom, and it was already on a key, so I didn't see how it was packaged.
Okay, so
did he say it was already on a key? Like a house key?
Someone asked if we want to step into the bathroom, and it was already on a key, so I didn't see how it was packaged.
Okay, so and then the follow-up question that would be, you don't know where, or do you know where she may have gotten it, or any avenue to ascertain cocaine at all?
Are you talking about this incident that I just mentioned, or?
Yeah, that one or anyone, honestly. You know what, man? To be honest with you, any of the drugs, where she could have gotten any of them from anyone. I suppose.
I would think it's someone in just because I know that she knows.
I'm hearing somebody like talking in the background, and I can't. It sounds like maybe it's the FBI agent speaking to someone else as this guy is still talking to Jack. It's like very light in the background.
Yeah, I would think it's someone in just because I know that she knows people use a lot in there.
Mm-hmm.
He said a D, I think. Delta?
And I don't know who.
Okay.
Delta as in Hunter Johnson?
Let's see.
I can't imagine Kaylee going anywhere outside of that to buy.
Okay.
Just because, she knows them on a personal level.
Sure. How does she know? I'm assuming you're talking about, how does she know?
What name was that? I want that name.
Let's see.
I can't imagine Kaylee going anywhere outside of that to buy.
Okay.
Just because, she knows them on a personal level.
Sure. How does she know? I'm assuming you're talking about, how does she know? Just Fred.
When I was speaking about that, and anyone outside of
okay.
I think he just said, I think the cop just said something about a frat. So I'm going to assume, if I heard that correctly, that this is a dude that they're talking about.
I can't imagine Kaylee going anywhere outside of that to buy.
Okay.
Just because, she knows them on a personal level.
Sure.
Him?
How does she know? I'm assuming you're talking about, how does she know? Just Fred.
When I was speaking about that, and anyone outside of
okay,
someone who knows, but I think Kaylee does know.
Did he just say, I think Kaylee does know Quinn? Listen close. It sounds like it might, and it could be a K, it could be a hard C, but it sounds like a QU.
Anyone outside of
okay,
someone who knows, but I think Kaylee does know.
Now, Quinn is Dylan's boyfriend and not anything to do with the University of Idaho. And I know, it wouldn't fit right there. But I don't know all the names of any of the delts or anything like that. So if anybody does, maybe it sounds like it sounds like the QU sound. But again, it could be a K, it could be a C. We have a couple different names. It could be Cole, could be Connor, could be was it there a girl? Chloe, could be Chloe.
Sure. How does she know? I'm assuming you're talking about, how does she know?
When I was speaking about that, and anyone outside of like,
okay,
someone who knows, but I think Kaylee does know.
See? It sounds like a QU.
And anyone outside of like,
okay,
someone who knows, but I think Kaylee does know.
It could be Cole, or yeah, it's along there. There's definitely a vowel right after the sound.
When I was speaking about that, and anyone outside of like,
okay,
someone who knows, but I think Kaylee does know. Just through, he's the same age as us, so
yeah,
we've partied together for 4 years now. I don't think they're ever super tight, but
okay,
yeah, just from mutuals and partying, I guess.
Okay, and then one final question for you here. If you had to pick somebody who is Kaylee's like go-to gal, someone she trusts in the most, who would you say that is?
Maddie.
Of course, it would have been Maddie, but
sure. Second to Maddie, perhaps.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Second to Maddie, like after if Maddie, let's say Maddie went home for the weekend or something, who was somebody she could talk to?
I know. Almost just naturally, like is like a counselor and loves talking to people about their problems and condoling them.
Okay.
I don't know who he said.
Awesome. Hey man, that's all the question I have for you.
And so I have a follow-up, John. This guy that we're trying to ID here, named, has been described as like a middle-aged
dealer
guy who is known to be violent. Does that ring a bell with you at all?
Now, remember, we saw a video. I pulled up a TikTok video the other day, and for some reason, some people got butthurt that I made a comment about this, which was just like really super freaking weird, but that's besides the point. There's a short video on TikTok of the girls. I think it's Maddie and another girl. And there's look, I don't watch reality TV, but for some reason, I know who the toe-necked Ed guy is from like those love shows, all right? The way he's shaped was how this guy was kind of shaped walking through the house. That's the only reason why I said anything to jog your memory. There's an older, chubby-bellied, short-haired, dark short-haired guy that looks like he's in his mid-40s that walks through the TikTok video with like a red Solo cup in his hand. And he's no one's parent that we have noticed, because we know what all the parents of the people that lived in that house look like. Except for like Bethany's dad. I've never seen a picture of Bethany's dad. Doubt that's Bethany's dad, okay? But when I first heard this a couple days ago about a middle-aged guy, that's the first thing that came into my mind was like, okay, we just saw like a middle-aged, short, chubby guy walking through the college house in the middle of a party with a red Solo cup in his hand. Like, could that be maybe that guy? I don't know. How many middle-aged, chubby guys are walking through a house full of college girls in the middle of a party? I don't know. No clue.
I mean, are there any middle-aged dudes running around the campus that you've ever heard of?
No.
That's kind of what I thought.
Maybe middle-aged, maybe just, he may not be, maybe just perhaps of that.
What he meant right there, where he said he might not be, and then it was like an M, because of what we just read about like the Mexican cartel. It sounds like he's saying he might not be Mexican. So maybe that's just, it doesn't sound like they really know who they're looking for if that's the case.
Guy who is known to be violent. Does that ring a bell with you at all? I mean, are there any middle-aged dudes running around the campus that you've ever heard of?
No.
That's kind of what I thought.
Maybe middle-aged, maybe just tan. He may not be Mexican, maybe just.
See? Maybe just tan. He might not be Mexican. That's what I hear here.
No.
That's kind of what I thought.
Maybe middle-aged, maybe just tan. He may not be Mexican, maybe just
tan, maybe not be Mexican.
Perhaps of
How
that
weird.
variety.
Okay. Okay. Thanks very much. That's all we got. Appreciate you talking to us.
Is that it?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. We're going to stop tape here at 10:52.
That's some crazy stuff. And again, this is the first and only time so far anyway that we've heard an FBI agent in on the interviews. So the FBI just went around interviewing people on the phone with other officers in play. I highly doubt it. And if they can release us these that has the FBI in the interview, why can't they release us the actual FBI interviews? You know, like they've already given us pieces, so why not just give us the information that you have? Because with that would be Kohberger's interview. Because right now the FBI is in control of that, even though it belongs to Pennsylvania. The FBI is in control of what happens with that interview. And I'm pretty positive that they basically like stole the other one. Like that's my assumption, my opinion, because in the report it says that the ISP officer that was there with Brett Payne to do the interview with Kohberger, it was all being recorded on the barracks camera system and their microphone system. But Gilbertson had a pocket recorder with him that he apparently recorded the exact same interview on. And in the report, it claims that there was a transcription made of the interview. When I went to go FOIA the pocket recording interview, the audio of that interview and the transcript from Idaho State Police and Moscow Police, both of them are telling me that it doesn't exist. And when I got on the phone with Amber, she told me that they've been aware for months now that the pocket recording itself and the transcript don't exist. You know what else doesn't exist? Gilbertson's report. So in Brett Payne's report regarding the interview, he says, for more information, see Sergeant Darren Gilbertson's report with the Idaho State Police. And I FOIA'd that report because it's not out to the public in the Idaho State Police records that were released. And I was told it doesn't exist. So not only did Gilbertson not write his report for the interview, but the pocket recording that he had is missing. And the transcript for that pocket recording is also missing. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that absolutely lovely? It's so stressful. My God, it's so stressful. I just don't know what to think half the time. It is a freaking nightmare. It drives me crazy too. Crazy for forever. Yes, Becca, I did. Thank you so much for the PayPal. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, I did. And thank you for being a member for so long. Yeah, I can't imagine either. That's why I really wish that they would have brought Murphy into the same room as Kohberger just to see the reaction. Because if that's the scent that was in the house that night, there would be some sort of emotional reaction out of Murphy, in my opinion. He would either act scared, maybe get a little aggressive, but there would definitely be some sort of reaction if you put Murphy in the same room as Bryan, if he was the guy in the house that night. If he wasn't, and Bryan tried to like call him and have him come to him, and everything was nice and normal, and there wasn't any sort of weird reaction with Murphy, that would be telling too. But if Murphy instantly like freaks out and tries to hide behind something or something like that, that's pretty telling too. I don't know why they didn't do that. I feel like that would be telling. Either way, it would be super telling. I don't know why they didn't do it. Thank you for the 999 Queenie conspiracy. Jack Decor, wouldn't doubt if they scared him to talk with being suspect number one. Honestly, don't think he has it in him to kick stones, much less this. They asking the wrong people the wrong questions, infuriating. I I just don't want to give Jack any slack because he's lying about the phone call. He's worried about there being audio of the said phone call. And I don't know anyone else that would have as much rage towards Kaylee as Jack DeCour. And her entire face was just destroyed. Her entire face was destroyed. And we know that he had asked to go over there on Friday night, and she told him no. And then the next day, he was at work when she was at the White's party, and they were having a conversation there. But while she was talking to Jack DeCour in text messages, she's then trying to get back with Mason Barstow. She's trying to get Mason Barstow to drop all of his plans and be with her that night and go and do stuff with her that night, and he won't do it. So that's another reason why I don't understand why the family keeps trying to hold on to this weird fantasy that Jack and Kaylee were going to end up getting back together and all this other bullshit. She was literally trying to get right back into talking to Mason Barstow 12 hours before she died. She wasn't trying to get back with Jack. That's another reason why when the Goncalveses want to come out here and put a lie on the what did you say to Adam scenario, which is what they're doing, they're trying to act like, oh, it was all about Kaylee wanting to get back with Jack. No, the fuck it wasn't. She was just trying to get back with Mason Barstow 6 hours before that whole conversation even took place. No, it was not. They have held on to this sick fantasy of Jack and Kaylee the entire time. And I think that's why they're so blinded to what might actually be the truth here. And he might not have been the one and only, but there's no way that Jack doesn't have some sort of information to this when he's been lying so much. What are you lying for? And if your lies are for some sort of self-preservation for something completely different, then be honest about it. If you don't want to keep being pointed at and you don't want to keep being asked questions, your name, Jack, was the #1 suspect on the damn Idaho State Police forensic reports when it came to what they were looking at and how seriously they were taking your information. All the way through. When Bryan Kohberger was arrested, he was placed on line number 2. Jack DeCour stayed on line number 1 all the way up until the end. All the way until the plea. And you know the crazy part? They didn't even get Jack's fingerprints until the same month of the plea. The defense had to ask them in January of 2025, hey, we don't have Jack's prints. You know, y'all cleared him 3 years ago, but we don't have his prints. So can we fix that? Can we do something about that? It took the state 5 months to get Jack's ass to go down to the police department and give them the prints. And that was all done and turned in at the beginning of June. But this case was perfect, right? The Moscow Police Department and everybody else just knew exactly what they were doing. I don't know. I don't know. Thanks for the $1, Cassie. I appreciate that. Thank you for the 3, Danny. Thank you for being here for so long, too. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank you for the jewels, you guys. Thank you for the jewels for jewels. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. There's just so much here. It's just always so annoying. It's just really annoying. It's the self-preservation for me at the end of the day, which is why I always say that we're here for the victims first to get their truth out no matter what the hell the truth is. The truth is the only thing that matters here. I don't care about everybody who's out here trying to keep their reputations because maybe they don't like the situation here and they don't want it tarnishing their own name. I don't care about none of y'all. I don't care about your bullshit. That's not going to help anything here. That's not going to help anything. And my biggest thing now is in an interview that we haven't even watched on this channel yet, but we're going to tomorrow morning. The one of Bianca. She apparently says, and I'm not apparently because now I've listened to that one little clip where she says that she's overhearing, or people are saying now that Dylan is recognizing the guy that she saw in the house that night as a guy that she saw at a party earlier in the day. How come that was never relayed to the police? If Dylan is going around saying that, I mean, that didn't just come out of nowhere. Dylan had to have said that to someone for it to have gotten around. Because Dylan's not telling people what? Yeah, I didn't recognize the guy all the way around. No, eventually she's going to end up saying something. And if the whole point is that she recognized him as it being someone that she did recognize earlier in the day, but then here comes Kohberger's arrest and she sees his face and she's like, yeah, that's not the guy I saw. I didn't recognize him. That tells me that she did have a good enough look at the guy's face to be able to say, I think I remember that guy's face from a party earlier in the day. So it's important. I don't give a shit how old the interview is. That was being said at some point. It had to have been. Or else why would it have gotten to that? We already know that she said taller or shorter, she doesn't remember. And then Nunes goes, oh, so 6 feet. And they just ran with it. Because in reality, there was no actual description of this person. Everything that came to be a description of this person evolved over weeks of the cops saying a bunch of stupid shit and allowing Dylan to lie and her doing a whole bunch of how do I preserve my own bullshit with her attorney. That's why she's constantly saying, obviously I was intoxicated. No, you weren't. You were telling people that you didn't feel like drinking that night. You also admitted that you weren't drinking anything heavy. You were drinking little 4 and 5% seltzer water things and barely throughout the night. And then you say you get home, you're barely tipsy at all because you're so worried about Lakeland being drunk. So you want to take care of her. Then you don't drink anything else the rest of the time that you're there. And then you eat a snack. Girl was sober. Sober as hell. Unless she took an hallucinogenic. Unless she didn't drink because she knew she was going to get home and take something stronger and she didn't want it to mix up and maybe have a bad effect. So she decided to not really drink because she decided when she got home she was going to do something else. Because remember, there was some stuff that came out a long time ago. We went over a live where this guy, what was that damn channel's name? Crime Analysis with something, Analysis with CD. I don't remember the guy's name, something like that. And he had been sent some emails about how Dylan was basically saying that she didn't really know if what she saw was real or not because she was on some sort of hallucinogenic. That's the only excuse that you could actually have for this. I mean, you either want us to know that you took some mushrooms or you want us to think that you're a psycho. I mean, which one would you rather? So who knows? Who knows what the freaking truth is? Who knows what the truth is? All I know is that when that cops got there and that girl started talking, she lied to them. She lied to them about calling everybody and trying to see what was going on and Bethany being the only one that answered the phone. If Bethany wouldn't have called Dylan and been like, oh my God, did you hear that fireworks sound? Did you see that light? Dylan would have never said anything to Bethany because only then and only after that call from Bethany did Dylan start calling everybody else. She wasn't calling nobody. She was hearing screaming. She was hearing running. She was hearing frantic voices asking, or saying someone's here, crying coming from the other side of the house where Xana was. She wasn't calling anybody. That's a lie. She wasn't calling anyone. And I just don't know why they allowed her to continue on with that story, especially after they had the phone records, because the phone records that came out prove that, and Bethany's phone records mirror that Dylan wasn't calling her, trying to get a hold of her before that, just like Dylan wasn't calling anyone else. We have the proof in the records that she wasn't. Then she's up all night taking pictures, taking photos, talking to people on social media. What's going on with that? Release that information. And you know what's crazy? As freaking wildly insane as WSU Kim got, because she got crazy, which made her unbelievable at the end because she let herself get into all the bullshit. If there was any truth to Kim's story, at least we now see that old Dylan was on Snapchat in the early morning hours talking to people. Was on Instagram, sending messages, talking to people. And Kim's story is that her daughter told her that she knew around 10 o'clock in the morning. Well, we also know that Dylan went upstairs. Went up both flights of stairs at some point. Was up all night. Who knows doing what? Walking around. Release the snap messages. Oh, wait, they can't. Because for some reason, they can give us Ethan's snap messages from the party at Sigma Chi. But they can't give us Dylan's snap information from hours and hours later, which would make them newer in a history kept log. They can't give us Dylan's, but they can give us Ethan's from hours and hours and hours before at the party. Don't they all disappear at the same time? How come we can see older messages, but we can't see newer messages from Dylan? Why is all that content's unknown? And why do we not have Ethan's location information? Why do we still not know when Ethan and Xana got home? There's no location data for that. And Hippler and like 3 other people that have worked this case have said at 2:15 when that DoorDash order is made, she's not at King Road. They won't tell us where she was, but they're telling us in court documentation, not home at 2:15. Now, I do know that Connor did just release an inventory list of the party. I think it was yesterday. Yeah. There is a Sigma Chi list of people that were at the party that night that Connor just got. So let's look at that real quick, and I'll clip this out separate by itself. 7 pages. This is coming from an RO. I'm going to assume this is Reed Offshin, maybe. Outcast had an interview from that Reed guy, but I haven't been able to find it since I saw it. I don't know if he deleted it for some reason or if it's on a different channel than what I thought it was on, but I could have sworn that it was Outcast that had that interview. And it was this guy, what's the last name? Offshin. It's like OFSHUN or something like that. These seem to be those emails between him and an ISP officer giving them the names of the people that apparently were supposed to have been in and out, or at least at the Sigma Chi party that night. Now, you'll notice, at least what I noticed, is that Xana's name is not on it. I think Ethan's name is the only one on it that they don't have redacted, which is interesting. Now, remember something else that we heard about the party was that because it was in Vision, Idaho, they didn't even know how they got permission to have the party that night, because they weren't supposed to have anything happening. And that came from like the Sigma Chi brothers. There was like 2 or 3 of their interviews where they were like, yeah, we weren't even supposed to have the party. We don't really know how we got permission to even have it. We weren't supposed to do anything. So that's important too. Okay. So this is between Reed and Leslie Lehman. And this is from November 19th, 2022. It says, hey, here's the files. Thank you for responding. Just wanted to make sure that way I'm not sending it to the wrong person. Thank you, and feel free to reach out again if you need anything else. And this is just Leslie saying, I'm not sure my electronic signature will show on my email for my phone, but I have attached my card. And it says, I have a guest list and timeline of what members remember that night. Could you reply just so I know this is the correct email before I send the actual files? Thank you. And that was from Reed, just to like make sure that he had the right person that he was sending all these things to. What is this right here? Newark Theater security footage from 516 South Main Street. I don't think I've heard of the Newark Theater before. What is this actually right here? Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second. Yeah, I don't know if they actually meant to send this stuff about the theater. This is different. Here is security footage from the Newark Theater at 516 South Main Street from 9 p.m. Saturday to 6 a.m. Sunday. I had previously sent most of this to MPD tip line, but added more clips to the folder when I received the exact timeline request. There are about 90 clips, all of the people walking by on the sidewalk, and then there's a Dropbox link, and it's signed by an SP. Now, I know that we have a couple different footages of Jack and the girls walking from the corner club to the grub truck, but I don't remember a theater. Okay. Anyway, all right, so here's this timeline. It says Xana and Ethan timeline, Sigma Chi from this Reed Offshin person. It says from 8:30 to 9 p.m., JS has picture from the Kappa Alpha Theta formal. Image includes from left, DM, which I'm going to assume is not Dylan, but someone else, JS, TG, J something, Ethan Chapin, and BE. And then it says sometime after 10 p.m., EH remembers seeing Ethan and Xana at the lodge. Ethan was wearing Xana's Juju Smith-Schuster Steelers jersey. At 12:35 a.m., HC, which is probably Hunter Johnson, takes picture with who is believed to be Ethan in the lodge in a white t-shirt. We believe it is Ethan by the hairstyle and body posture. So is it so blurry that you can't see Ethan's face? Is it so blurry you can't see Ethan's face? 1:15 to 1:20 a.m. This is Pete saw Ethan and Xana in the lodge. This is what he said in his interview as well. Ethan and Pete discussed taking Xana and showing her the neighboring fraternity Alpha Gamma Rho, which they didn't do. Pete said in his interview, and we heard in the Amazon Prime series that came out in 2025, that they were supposed to go and do that, but then last minute they decided not to go over to this other frat. Then it says at 1:48 a.m. Now this is where we get new information, but this still doesn't track to what we've been told. At 1:48 a.m., Ethan sent JH. I don't know if this is Johnson Hunter or if this isn't there like a Jesse H or something like that? Isn't there like a Jesse H or something like that? I'm not really quite sure. Thanks for the $4.99, Ben. It's all guys on that list. Lena did a pretty good job. What? It makes Pete, Reed, Hunter, Cole look super bad. The list itself makes them bad? Makes them look bad? I don't know. Thank you for the 10, JJPP. Let's see what I missed over here. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is where it doesn't add up for me right here. Right here is where it doesn't add up for me. Because, again, Hippler and several other people have already told us in court documentation that Xana was not home at 2:15 when they placed that order. Now, 1:48 is also around the time that the girls are all home, minus Kaylee and Maddie. So let me say it correctly. At 1:48, we still have Dylan and Bethany in probably Lakeland. We don't really know precisely the minute that Lakeland left the house, but she says that when she left, Kaylee and Maddie were not home yet, and she did not happen to see the car as she was leaving. But this says at 1:48, Ethan sends a Snapchat to a JH, and I think we know this name, but I can't remember it right off the top of my head. But I'm pretty sure we just heard an interview from this person not long ago. A Snapchat message. Both Ethan and Xana were at Xana's house. Snapchat conversation was flipping each other shit, all in fun and nothing unusual. What does that mean? What does that mean? Flipping each other shit, all in fun and nothing unusual. And then at 2:44 a.m., MM missed a call from Ethan. M was already asleep. So Ethan called Mason Mystery, maybe? Matthew Moyer? Madison Moyer? I don't know. There's several different MMs this could be. At 2:44. So they're saying Ethan at 2:44 called this person, and then at 1:48, there's a Snapchat that was sent, and Ethan and Xana were in Xana's house. Then how come Dylan is not telling us that Ethan and Xana were there? How come Bethany is not telling us that Ethan and Xana were there? How come no one is telling us that Ethan and Xana was there? And how would they know if that's actually where the house was from a Snapchat? I guess they would have to maybe recognize something in the photo. They need to release this photo. Whatever the Snapchat is at 1:48, they need to release it. Okay, so then here's the names. And we most likely have all these names on Accomplished Days, really big, intricate, detailed timeline, because there's a whole bunch of names on there. But these are all of the initials of everyone that was there. So MG, GM, JH, KE, DB, KE, KC, NH, AM, KW, SH, DF, IK, BA, TR, TL, ES, CH, IH, Enan Harsh? Enan Harsh? Probably not, though. But that's a weird. Okay. SF, HK, KM, JF, RM, BW, RW, RV, KB, BB, DL, JE, GE, CT, SA, BS, GL, GD, C, all the way across with no last name. JC, JS, JH, JH, CS, PA, HJ, JF, PE, we know that one to be Peter, GE, JN, CS, JS, JK, RO, MW, BE, WH, CP, NH, CV, DD, ML, AF, DB, JG. Checked in by JC, KC, JS, and Peter. And then here's Ethan's name right here. JS, KT, WN, M, NB, DB, and ML. And there's the whole thing. There's the whole thing. Did we see a GA on here? Okay, let's look at the, hold on. GM, GE, GLGD. I'm asking because Gideon's last name starts with an A. And I don't see a GA on here either. Yeah, there's no GA. Gideon, the Gideon is here guy was at the Sigma Chi party, and his name's not on here either. Interesting. So they weren't really keeping too good of a list because the girls aren't on here either. There's no KG. I mean, well, never mind. Cross that out. Kaylee didn't go to that party. There's no DM. There's no MM. Let's check the M's. Because Maddie went to that damn party. ML, MW. Yeah, the girls don't seem to be on here at all. Bethany, Dylan, nor Maddie seem to be on this list based on the initials. And neither does the Gideon guy that rode on Dylan's arm that she was walking around with. Yeah. And the list also is not coming from somebody who can actually be verified. This is a list coming from a fraternity member that wasn't even part of the check-in crew. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. Thanks for the 499, Queenie. Lana filled the most of the redactions. Left side invites, right side members. Girls are never on the list. Yeah. We just saw that the girls weren't on it at all, and neither was the Gideon guy. And Gideon was there. He wrote on Dylan. And see, the way that they made it sound is as if there was an invite list and it had to be only people on the invite list because it was a party they weren't technically supposed to have. And it had like a timeline for when it was supposed to end and like all these things. Yeah, the girls aren't on here at all. It's interesting. I wonder who this name is right here with no last name on it. Yeah, that's crazy. That is super crazy. No Gideon. No Gideon. Oh my fucking God. Bobby just sent me something super important that I'm about to show you guys. This should not be allowed. This guy cannot be Brian's attorney. This is not how this works. This is not how this is supposed to work. The new attorney, Greg Rauch, is in the University of Idaho Murders True Crime Discussion Group since December 24th, 2022. He is in one of the groups. That's just as effed up as Richard Allen psychiatrist being in the Delphi groups. That can't happen. That can't happen. That should instantly be a conflict of interest. Yeah. That should instantly be a contract of yeah, all the things. What the fuck? I mean, I don't know what else to say. Oh my God. Since December 24th, 2022. So right before the arrest, he's been looking at the case. Like, you've got to take yourself. You can't be in those groups. You can't be in those groups. Oh my God. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to send it to her. I'll email her as soon as I get off of here. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna email her as soon as we get off the live. Unbelievable. And he graduated from the university. I'm pretty sure it's a Gilter group. It's not like a pay attention type of group. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people are in there because they try to debunk people's stuff because they're crazy and they say a bunch of random ass shit. Yeah, I'm going to email Melissa here in just a second. I can't believe that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I actually did tell them about Mike Baker telling the Goncalveses before the PCR. So I'm actually kind of wondering if maybe they knew about that ahead of time and maybe the Goncalveses aren't being honest about when they knew about the PCR and about when they were talking to Cyree, because I said there was some sort of something that was said in an email back in June about how they were working on it. Just so you know, we're working on it. Keep pushing the truth, knowledge is power type thing back in June. And so I feel like they were in conversations back then about what the next step was going to be, And so if you take that timeline with Cyree coming out and talking, he went out on the custody queens before the PCR was filed. So I wonder if he was trying to come out and do some shit to try to save face for himself before the PCR was filed. Because everything that Cyree is saying now, he would have never said ever if this PCR wasn't filed. And I just have a feeling that maybe somehow he knew ahead of time because Baker maybe gave them a heads up. I don't think Mike Baker's being too honest either, honestly, at all. There's a lot of shady shit going on all over the place here. Yeah. That timeline be timelining, and it's giving me a lot of questions. That's crazy as hell. No, I'm not in that group. I'm only in four Idaho groups, and I've only recently in the past 3 weeks even joined them because I stay out of all that stuff because they annoy me. I can't stand stupid people, and I catch myself saying all kind of dumb shit back to them because they just annoy the shit out of me. So I try to stay out of there. But I will go. I'll ask somebody. I mean, I'll just email back the person who sent me those and ask if they can go in and see if he's made any comments on anything. But I wonder if he's gone in already and cleaned it up and just or maybe not, because you think he would have removed himself from the group. I bet you he doesn't even realize that he's on there. I bet you he doesn't even realize it. That's crazy. It is a Gilters group. Yeah, that's crazy as shit. Yeah, I'm gonna email. Melissa, what is happening? Okay. That's crazy as shit. Okay, let me go ahead and get off here so I can send this email so I can send her these attachments and show her what the hell's going on. Unbelievable. Okay. I will be back at 3:45. It is 2 o'clock. 3:45. We are doing our members only live. It is just an open discussion about the case. I have nothing planned. We'll talk about whatever the frick we want to talk about. Bring y'all's questions. We'll talk about whatever, and I will see you guys at 3:45. Let me go ahead and put the link. Oh, and by the way, at 5:30. Connor has an interview coming from a Martha Smith that was done on 11/16. So don't forget to go over there for that too. Now tomorrow morning, I'm gonna schedule a live for sometime in the 10 o'clock hour, maybe either 10:15 or 10:45, so that we can go over Bianca's interview because that one's hella crazy interesting. But don't forget tonight we are still going to we are still doing our Moscow Monday. So after we get off of our members only live, I will then schedule out the members only Monday for sometime later on this evening because I'll have to do dinner and all that stuff after we get off of our members only live. We're also going to be doing several different giveaways in our members only live. I've decided to do 2 $50 giveaways and 3 merch giveaways. Winner of the $50 giveaways get to choose whether it's a Target gift card or a Walmart gift card or a DoorDash gift card or a PayPal, however you want to do it. Even Cash App. I'll gladly do a Cash App too. So we're going to do 2 $50 giveaways and 3 merch giveaways Actually, F that. We're at 60,000 subscribers. Holy shiitake mushrooms. So we're going to do 3 $50 giveaways, and we'll do 3 merch giveaways to make it 6. 1 giveaway for each 10,000 that we've gotten. Hell yeah. So that's what we're going to do today. And I will definitely make sure that the damn Nightbot's on, even though it's been getting on my nerves here lately. I don't know. He popped up into nowhere. Actually, let me tell y'all over here on this side what happened yesterday. And I need to clip this shit because this was freaking weird, okay? Where are my UFO people that were in my live on my other channel yesterday morning, okay? So you guys know how I have Nightbot, like, in here. And I actually gave access to Nightbot for this channel, and I've given it things to do. Like all the timers you see where it shows like my PayPal, but also shows like Connor's channel, Accomplice Dave's channel, and like different things. Yes, okay. Were you in there when we got trolled by Nightbot's official $2.58 million subscriber YouTube account? So Nightbot, Nightbot has no access to my Julez of All Trades channel, my personal channel, where we talk about aliens and I do food stuff and talk about stuff with the kids and the animals and whatnot. Okay. I even checked the settings in the live. No, Nightbot has no access to that channel. Nightbot came into my freaking chat from its official 2.58 million subscriber YouTube channel and was telling people that they were spamming not to use more than 3 emojis and like all kinds of shit. And I was like, why are you in my chat? And my chat for that channel too is subscriber only, which meant that the Nightbot 2.58 million subscriber channel had to have been subscribed to my UFO thing for 5 minutes before then coming in and doing crazy shit to I had to block. It's all on the live. I literally go to my live on my YouTube, click on the icon that's causing the problems in the chat, and then it loads up the official page. I was shooketh. I didn't understand what was happening. I still don't freaking understand what was happening. I don't know why Nightbot's official page was all up in my chat yesterday, knocking people out, telling them they were being bots for using emoticons or whatever, emojis. It was very strange. It was very odd. It was very creepy. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It's freaked me out. I need to clip that and put it out separately because it was just too creepy. Oh my god. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, Aries Fire. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for being a member for so long, Carrie. I know, isn't it exciting? We're closer to 100K now than we were before. I'm so excited. I know, I'm so excited. Thank you for the 20 gifted memberships, Carrie. Oh my god, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining, Lori. And thank you for all of the little jewels and gems things, you guys. I appreciate that. Now, again, do not forget, in an hour and like 30-something minutes, we're going to be doing our members only live. So I'm getting off of here, refresh coffee, get a snack, do some laundry, get the boys resettled with lunch, and then I'll be back. Bring your questions and things because it's going to be an open discussion. Try to be alive for at least like 2 hours to try to get, questions done. This case has been a whirlwind forever, and especially over the past week. There's lots to talk about. Yeah, wasn't that weird? That was so freaking weird. All right, you guys, I'll see y'all soon. Let me go ahead and make sure I have this right one on here. I think I still have my alien one on here, so let me get this fixed. Remove and Idaho. Okay, there we go. All right, you guys, I'll see y'all in a few. See y'all.